I wish I had caught that on the recording. The HRE villager built the mining camp, and you just heard him go, just like, oh, you can tell HRE love their gold that much. Their villagers are just like, that's spicy. And we got a spicy one here, folks. We've got LoueMT going up against Wham. I'm loving this matchup. HRE versus Ayyubid. Louis is hard on the HRE grind. Not sure why. It's going to get banned every tournament game at this pace because this Civ is looking strong. The question is, how strong? Strong enough to shut down the Ayyubid's castle age timing? Because historically, this matchup has been about racing. And usually in that race, what's been happening is the Ayyubid players have been blocking HRE players' castle age timing. But I know that Louis has been practicing quite a lot of feudal age aggression. And I actually still believe that the HRE has the aggro point to screw over the Ayyubid's greed. Especially if you get a forward spawning gold. Unfortunately in this game, Wham locked out there. He got a back spawning gold that can be camped and guarded by a single outpost. This is unfortunate for Louis. Means that we might be looking at maybe a more chill approach. But let's hit this speed up just for the first 1 or 2 minutes of gameplay. Scout haul so far, 13 sheep, pretty decent for Louis actually. 13, I think that 14 actually on the other side. But remember the difference here is that Wham should be able to stay out longer because he has got berry gathering. And you can see they both actually did go for their side near the center. Little tip when you play Rocky River, you want to check this area first. This is the highest priority. And also the interesting part is like you should know where your opponent is and pivot. It's just awkward because sometimes on this map, you kind of get screwed over. Because a spawn like this, both players are on the same side. So if you both run out here, one person's going to lose out. That's why I love that Louis, realizing that the Ayyubid player can stay out longer than him, he didn't engage with it, right? He went to the right side further away. That was a very smart, astute choice by him. I've seen a lot of these matchups where the berry sieve just wins because of that detail. What? Okay, that is different. Louis is going to DC straight away against Ayyubids. That's kind of wild if you think about the gathering time as well. I love the optimization, by the way, from Louis. He pulls all the villagers out into stone first, buffs them, before having to come back for the wood that will be buffed, right? So this is very optimal by Louis. Going to be a little bit overkill in the stone hall here, more than he actually needs. But this is still fine. Now he can shift back. He could actually just rally into the TC and ungarrison the other side. It'd be a little bit quicker. But he's just going to head over, rush the Archon up, I imagine, and then start gathering wood for the TC. This has now been scouted out by Wham, but Wham's already committed, and I believe it's going to be Desert Raider. Yeah, the Desert Raider here is going to force a condensed TC, but I think that was always the goal for Louis, is that he would drop the TC probably between the berries and the wood, and then just gather mass wood for a farm transition. Even an outpost now come up in the gold. I wonder if you, like, do you actually drop? Yeah, you have to drop the TC here, I think. This is a bit too, I don't think there's enough room. I think there's one tree in the way, so you can't get it quite here. So you might have to go a bit more ambitious, but the outpost should allow for that, just about. We'll see in a sec, though. The interesting part to me is that actually Louis, yeah, I'm surprised he didn't do this sooner. Miscalibrated slightly. It would have been probably more worthwhile to build the Archon quicker like this because of the lumberjack off. Lumberjack drop-off point, Jesus Christ. The lumber drop-off point would have been better in that way, right? Because like afterwards, all these people would have been buffed up, so you would have been a little bit quicker if you just rushed the Ark in there. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, Desert Raider on the way in. Gold Workers should be relatively protected here. Desert Raider is not going to be able to do too much damage, and this is the point where this spot is now very difficult unless you time it right. If you wait for Wham to run around to the west side, you can drop it. It might be that Louis just plays it safe and opts for... I mean, I don't think this TC's safe, but maybe that's the way he wants to go. Oh, dude. Come on, like... Okay, I don't know if... Like, am I just good? Or do I need to go touch some grass? I probably just need to go touch some grass. So TC, literally exactly the way we anticipated it. Wham on the other side of this is just going to be Growth Wing. Actually, you know what? There are a few matchups where logistics make sense, and I think this is one of them. But he probably feels like Louis isn't going to tech up anytime soon because it's 2 TC, right? So Growth Wing is just free. You'll still get all the relics with Growth Wing. What is intriguing to me is the fact that Louis forfeited any right to relics with this type of play. Rumpy, don't make me bring... Hey, Rumpy, you're going to like the upload. It features you. That's coming up on the channel soon. This is the oh no moment. Some people don't mind featuring on my channel. Some people immediately facepalm when they hear that. Growth Wing now coming in. So, makes a lot of sense. You are easily going to be able to drop a Mosque straight away. I'm expecting Wham to just open Mosque. Maybe open a stable as well and just try to dive in with the Camel Lancers. Wolves are going to go up. So, Louis. The question mark is if you know you're not going to get relics, do you just go Burgrave here? Because that would be wild. I feel like this is the type of game where you just can't get relics. Because if I'm Wham, I think you just immediately go for the relics closest to Louis' base. Because he has nothing to contest, right? So the only way that I see Louis playing Regnant still is if he opens with maybe stables or archery range now, camps on 1 or 2 of these relics, and then at least it's like a 2-relic game, right? Desert Raiders are making it annoying for Louis to even dream of casting quickly, though. This is a good raid by Wham. It's just pausing the timer, right? It's delaying. And while it's delaying, look at what's coming in. We're now just 45 seconds away from Growth Wing complete. Wham is gathering the stone wood required. So we are getting stables. With this many villagers gathering on wood, he should be able to immediately drop a mosque as well, about 10-15 seconds into his tech up. Oh, not even complete here. This shouldn't hurt him too much. I mean, Louis condensed, right? He's definitely going for that castle. It's just such a wacky build, though. I think the interesting thing about this build is that it actually disarms a lot of Ayyubid's mid-castle age plays. For example, if Wham wants to go into mass Camel Lancers or go into like mass Golems right now, Louis has the advantage because with 2 TC, he can afford to spam wood and spam farms. And that means he'll just be able to pump Men-at-Arms non-stop. Or spears as well. Men-at-Arms is probably just the go-to because you get heavy maces. And that means then the Ayyubid player has to go for archery ranges into crossbows, which is kind of their weaker play, actually, weirdly enough. This Civ thrives off the gold, but they like to invest in the Camel Lancers. If you're putting into crossbows, you can't afford as many Lancers anymore. Love the fact that Wham's just trying to open all the way through. First Camel Lancer is now on the way, and we should be looking at, yep, Moss drop straight away. All makes a lot of sense so far. I think Louis is going to go Regnants, though. The timing on this now, because it's a Lancer opening, which I'd imagine he scouted. Yep, he now sees it. Wait, did he see it? It looks tight, but I think he just about glanced it. So now that he confirms that it's Camel Lancers, Spearman can guard 2 of these relics. And you can make it a 2-relic Regnants game with 2 TC. That's pretty strong. Think about the power he already got out of this 2 TC build. He negated the power of Growth Wing. I think what we're seeing here from Louis is a lot of foresight. He understood exactly what the build was going to be here. The moment that you see the military wing coming, you know it's going to be Growth Wing. So the choice to go into 2 TC is approved. It's valid here, right? Because all of a sudden, you're now just ahead. A decent chunk of your eco, about what, like half of it, is being buffed up by 40%. And you now have the villager lead again before 10 minutes. This is a pretty cool build. Double racks on the forward. I think he's heading out to guard the mid relics. I mean, you should be realistically. Looks like for the time being, he's a little bit slow to pull out the base. Double mosque as well, dude. This is exactly what I was expecting from Wham. But the problem is when you go double mosque like this, you weaken your archer range timing. So actually, Louis will be able to guard these relics long enough that realistically, the prelate should pull them back. The prelate's already in the way. Wham, you need to commit to this, right? Like, this needs to be kill. This needs to be a kill right now. Otherwise, you're allowing 2 relics home. And it looks like he can't stop it. So we're going to get probably a 2-3 split. It might even end up potentially being a 3-2 split, depending on how quickly Louis can move across the center. I'm skeptical about that, though. The power of double mosque build here is although the dervishes take a long time to get out, once they start moving, they're impossible to stop. And Wham, instead it's going to be one turn the screw, so he moves in. But with only 2 lancers, you can't beat these spears. So Louis has the correct read. Has got knights as a follow-up, which is interesting, but he's going to be up against archers, so there's some value there. Louis. Oh, Wham. A little bit. of a missed micro there. That's going to guarantee the retreat now. I'm impressed, man. I didn't actually think he'd get 2 relics out of this. And you know, I think part of this was somewhat blind. Like the TC timing, like the intent to go towards it was quite early. But I think Louis had started to kind of get a read of where the relics were at that point. Wait, Louis? The cockiness, the confidence. He's like, bro, I'm so confident it's a 2-relic game. I'm going to just stand here, you know. Whew. Carrying this thing is heavy. I'm not even left-handed. Give me a sec, boys. 2 relics home. And already now we're looking at close to a 10 eco lead for Louis. So what is Wham's follow-up play? I think you need to go for a TC. I actually don't think you can afford to be that far behind. But the worry for Wham is if he goes for a second TC, that means he's basically approving the idea of HRE getting Imperial Age, which is like the true win condition with this build, right? Lances at least going to dive in and find some damage. None damage. I can't believe he didn't kill anything there. He'll at least get the spearman on the outro. Yeah, Louis, now with a decent number of knights and mass spears, there's no way that Wham's going to get in here. Here we go. Final 2 relics on the way home, so it's going to be that 3-2 split. This is a really cool build by Louis. I hope he's looking to raid with these knights. This makes a lot of sense, right? Is that he's already done farms. He knows an Ayyubid player on 1 TC is not going to do farms. So he's looking to raid pocket ecos. That's a really, really smart read. Not many people would have done that here. A lot of HRE players would have just went, okay, I want Imperial Age. They would have just camped at home. They would have stockpiled farms. And they just would have went up. But this is a pretty smart read. This shows you the level that Louis plays at, right? Is that he's not just playing a copy and pasted HRE template. The fact that he's willing to build knights against Ayyubids tells a lot about the player. Sacred Slack's now being locked in. Another reason why it's valuable to PR on the map, right, is that the reality is if you camp at home, you will get Imperial Age, but there'll be a clock pressuring you. And that's also more gold for the Ayyubids. So what is Wham's win condition in this game? Late Castle? I don't think you want this going Imperial. Ayyubids don't really have any place fighting Imperial Age against HRE. It feels like it's a complete mismatch at that stage in the game. For Louis, the goal is to chip the flanks by going after these deer, these berry locations, which you know all the locations of. And then after that, you want to be looking towards Imperial by about 20 minutes. And with the scaling he's already getting from 2 TC, that's going to be very doable. Love the fact that he's got devoutness on the way. This is incredible. Not just for the ability to gather resources quicker, but when he eventually goes for that tech timing, it's going to make it very quick. And considering like the pacing here, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to that imp even sooner. Maybe when he's pulling the villagers back from a cleared woodline here, he can be dropping the Palace of Swabia. The cool thing there is it means the Arcane buff is going to be on them as they then run out. More villagers getting massacred over here. Wham! At what point do you just accept that this has to be a TC? I don't think he's going to go for it. I think instead he's going to go for an all-in. Pretty smart read. This is probably the best point in the game where he's got a lead. Because if this goes any later, it's not going to last. There is no Spruan placement on the forward outpost here. Louis is going to have a very difficult defense. Wham! Triple ram. He's got a timing. Knights are at least going to idle out more eco. But right now, what Louis needs is the defense force. Army marches in. We've got no Siege Workshop behind this. This base is lightly defended, guys. I actually think Wham has the capacity to break this. Common enough goes after the Regnants, not even after the TC. Watch his crossbows stand their ground. Spears are going to start diving in, though, and taking the fight. Rams have to pull back. Wham! Wait, where are the Lancers? Oh my god, they ran far away to the south side. Instead, they're going to leak into the economy. But that does mean the backline of archers are being stabbed down. I mean, reaction, a few spears pulling across on the Lancers now. In the meantime, Knights continue to raid on the east side. It is still about a 20 eco lead for Louis. But where the hell are the Spearmen? There's none being produced right now. Louis has huge economy issues. More villagers being taken out. I think he survives this, but Wham actually got a good lick in, and now with 3 Rams still alive, Not only is he going to come back in with them, but he's going to build additional in the base of Louis. And Louis, this is a desperation keep. This is a I'm about to die keep. Look at the villager pull! 62 villagers to build this castle. Oh my god. Well, it's going to go up. However, what the hell protects the Regnants here? Oh my god. He's got no dervishes, so at least the relics won't be taken away if the Pregnance goes down, but this is living on a prayer, definition full right now. Heavy maces, a men-at-arms timing now coming in from Louis. Now, he does have all the farms underneath the Archons, so it is doable here, and the crossbow count is low. So this is the correct read by Louis. It's the most efficient way to counter this now. However, it's going to come at a price. Regnants on fire, soon to go down. Raids on the flank. Haven't really found as much as they needed here. WAM did lose a bit of eco, but that outpost earlier came in clutch on the berries. What a crazy game. WAM's now hitting the infrastructure north side. This is not important. It's men-at-arms. Men-at-arms the recovery point, and this is what I wanted to see. I'm surprised we did not get this sooner. A mangonel would have changed the entire narrative of that defense. I think Louis' focus on a castle was ambitious. Mass spears with mangonels would have achieved a similar goal here. Right, so he's going to poke and prod at the Rams, but they are going to keep living for the time being. WAM behind this still. No TC in 10. He's gathering a lot of stone, though. We might be looking at the triple TC build now. Yeah, pretty smart time by WAM. He's got full map control. He can continue to play pocket resources. He's got walls going up as well. I really like this approach from him. I'm impressed, man. I didn't think he'd do this much damage. Wow. Louis now having to sneak more racks on the left side. Luckily for him, WAM does not know about this. Otherwise, that would be GG, right? Blocking the left side resources. And he yoinks! He gets in with the dervish. WAM says, thank you very much, Lee. And Louis just got screwed out of a pretty chill-looking HRE game. Wow. Talk about paying for themselves. The ram damage here. The Regnants being taken down. The double stable. All the housing. This was so worthwhile for him. And now with, well, I'd expect to be a 3 TC build. It actually looks like it's just going to be a 2 TC build behind this for the moment into a delayed third. We're going to be looking at a full eco escalation now for WAM. He got some ability now to play later into the game. I still don't like the idea of taking this to the Imperial Age, but he can leverage this economy into a full castle push. Nice seeing the sticky predicament. Maybe why Louis didn't rush towards that mangonel originally, right? Is the fact that actually Ayyubid can just build siege in the field. Other relic at least got pulled back into the castle. Thank God for that. Last thing you want is a 5 relic game against you as HRE. Wow. He's got the Springle to try and contest the mangonel still. Enough spearmen to actually scare away the knights. Actually, he could easily kill the siege. Wow. Okay. Too late. Mango gets healed, so it looks like the army is going to get cleared up now. WAM has good map control, though. I can't state this enough. Louis, it is imperative that you run. You run straight for the enemy economy. You've got all these men-at-arms. You've revealed them in your base. This is like the worst way to have to show this, because now, look at what WAM does. He gets time to prep the crossbows, and you know that he has that preparation ability because he already was building archers. Damn, this game is crazy. Phalanx also on the way. So we're getting, what, mass spears plus crossbows? So this is WAM prepping for the potential counter. He's up against an HRE player who has a full Regnant, full Archon rather. Full Regnant. Full Archon. So the worry is that he could transition Horseman, which would completely counter your comp. So that's a really smart read by WAM. And you have to remember, although we don't see it very often, Ayubids are still one of the best spear civs in the game due to Phalanx. I actually rate them in some ways better than Abbasids. They don't have boot camp, but what they do have that's really strong in Castle Age especially is the Mamluk's Bravery that allows you to just snowball very quickly. Mamluk's Bravery is really cool, by the way, because it does scale with elite army tactics. So when you get Imperial, Spearman is actually, in my opinion, a very underrated element of Ayyubid comps. Love the free TC split as well. Just so much resource gain. By splitting your town centers like this, it allows Wham to be very eco-efficient across the map. His villages that are newly produced aren't going to waste time running somewhere, right? Like, imagine if you built all your TCs at home and you exhaust these resources, you have to run your villages out to, let's say you're on this tree line. That means the first, 20 seconds of villager life is irrelevant. They don't do anything. That sucks. That's why it's really important to go for these looser TCs. I don't like that Louis wasting time on these walls. Guess he's trying to keep the gaps widely opened, but now you're just giving more time for Wham to build up the counter. And behind this, Louis, I guess his logic is distract because he is saving for Imperial Age. This is scary to me though, right? Like, your army looks small. It looks unthreatening, and you just done the worst thing. Instead of running to the enemy's backline and force them further away from your base, you stayed in the mid-map. Now you might ultimately get punished. I think this has to be an Elsback. And I don't feel good saying that. I'm actually cringing saying that. I just don't think he has enough to defend. Temporary reset, but Wham, with this type of economy, you can easily build into, 3 or 4 Springons and go. Only reason Louis hasn't teched up yet, still lacking the gold required. I actually don't like how far Wham has backed up after all this. I think he's in a really good position. He had an ability to try and close the game. Showing a lot of respect over to the HRE defenses, though. Which worries me because, actually, this is the point in the game where the HRE defenses aren't that strong. Right? Like, we are not at the stage in the game where you're dealing with cannon placements. But if you wait around and sit on your ass like this, we will be. Good place onto the mid-map, by the way, from Wham. I think he's... Yeah, these are the first farms, right? He's added in, 10 farms? Yeah, 12. All because of the way he's playing flank resources. With the walls going up as well, he'll be able to continue to do this. And he's indeed going to be past the Swabia. So Louis... That tells a lot about his game plan. He's about to take risks. This is very Louis-esque. He's already up to 105 eco. You might wonder why not just go for the Elsback. The reason is that for him, he's still paranoid that there's this gap that he needs to close, right? He needs to remain eco ahead. But it's also speaking to what he wants to do with his villages. By going past the Swabia, you can run villages out into these risky resources. Personally, I think this should have been an Elsback. I think Elsback makes a lot more sense here. But I don't feel like he's going to do that if he's not threatened immediately. What should have happened here is that Wham should have pressured and Elsback should have enforced, right? Instead, Louis gets away with his greed because Wham went back and chilled. Now Wham, yeah, he started his tech up, but this is reactionary, right? It's advancement wing. He knew what this game's going to turn into, and it means that his Imperial Age doesn't really get any real value. You get Imperial Age, you get it cheaper. You don't get this added benefit of, say, extra health or extra unit types or, extra eco. You just get a quicker, cheaper tech up. But it's still not as good as Louis'. I just love how committed Louis is to burning palisade walls. He's like, I just want to check you're still in the game. Okay, you show up, I leave. Ram on the flank now, so stone walls are not going to last long. This is risky, actually, for Wham, because although the stone walls are nice, his army is very slow, so if Louis does this, if he splits the map, something is going to get in. It's a really smart read. I'm impressed. Ram now knocking on the wall. Wham has teched up. What is the comp going to be? It's going to be Gulam crossbows, isn't it? This is like the go-to comp for Ayyubid players, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. I like these adding in hand cannoneers. My personal take, it should be hand cannoneer spears. Horseman is a really logical choice for HRE at this stage, but if they're mass men-at-arms, why do you want to build Gulams that get bonus damage against them? They're more tanky than spears, sure, but when you think about the bonus damage they take, it kind of offsets that extra tankiness altogether. Whereas spearmen, you tick a box to protect your hand cannoneers against cav, and you basically just have a very cost-efficient tank. Even more important in a game where you don't have permanent food income. Oh, nice break on the wall. Louis does get in. And look at the reaction. He came south side, immediately walks away. Another reason why I like Gulams, folks. Spearmen rather, over Gulams. Gulams are slower than spears, so reacting to men-at-arms on flanks is more difficult. It takes longer. We are going late into this game. You can feel it with the way the walls are going. Men-at-Arms are breaking in, though, and Louis, with this map being stretched the way it is by Wham, you know, I mentioned the upside of gathering all this economy more efficiently. The downside is you have so many more locations you have to defend. That's another big difference coming in. You guys ever realize that elite army tactics is eat? It's appropriate because he's about to gobble up his opponent with his tech. Horseman also now leaking in. I actually think Wham somehow, despite the fact he has 4 relics, may be dead. He had to do the one thing I hate watching Ayyubid players do, which is go Imperial Age. I'm trying to think like on a list of civs that feel terrible in Imperial Age, like where do Ayyubids rate? Maybe like bottom 4 or 5. They usually only look good because the lead they build up in Castle Age. But that Castle Age lead was forfeited, right? Wham decided to peel away from his opportunity to try and end the game and play for this later phase. Now Men-at-Arms starting to leak in with this chip damage being done, this auto time being achieved. Louis starting to pull ahead where it matters in the food department. And he's going to leverage that soon. Military Academy now coming in 50 seconds away. Elite Army Tactics just 20. And at that stage, you know, Wham, does he even have a uni? He has, but what has he been getting from it? Because I feel like we haven't seen any upgrades, right? Yeah, nothing. He just doesn't have the gold for it. So his army might as well just be like, you know, Castle Age plus at this stage is how I'd describe it. The hand cannon is at least a cool detail. I love that he's getting them in, but this still isn't solving my issue of how do you fight. What in the duck am I looking at here? This castle attempt is ambitious to say the least. Louis is going to have to cancel that. There's no way it goes up. Still, he's dragging attention here, and while the attention is there in the north, he marches into Raid Eco on the south. Classic Louis, man. This is exactly why most players do not want to go against Louis in the late game. This is where he thrives. It's very beastie-esque, right? He is the beastie from the Eastie. And the funny part is, like, he has got Cav getting added in, but the Cav aren't the ones raiding this eco efficiently. It's the Men-at-Arms. They're doing a bloody good job of this. Even with the textiles there, Wham is hemorrhaging. Nice wave after wave. Just horsemen to follow this up. I think Wham's way too spread here. Maybe the better way for Wham to have built this would have been a TC on the east side, because then he wouldn't have to spread far left, far right. Right? He'd be center and then right. And the reason that's important is that's where all of his gold is. But now, with this wide spread, you're just seeing the power the HRE have. Most civs would have to just go Holy Cavalry here, and that would be easier to defend, because then the Ayyubid player just builds spears, right? But this is the power the HRE have with the Men-at-Arms. They are just so insanely quick compared to other civs. It's kind of like a mini Palace Guard effect, right? You don't have that insane movement speed, but you're still a lot more impressive than standard MAA. And you have more reason, more warrant to go for them considering the higher base damage. This is starting to turn into a bit of a gold slog, isn't it? Gold access is going to be a problem for Louis really soon. So he might have to consider doing trade as HRE, which is weird. Because he only has 1 Regnitz, right? Actually, yeah. He's got 1 Relic and he's got 2 Sacred Sites. That's not great gold trickle for mass Men-at-Arms. Wow, now reaction to the castles. Elite Army Tactics is finally on the way. The annoying walls continue though, so gaps are being kept open. And there's the gold secure I needed. This is big. This is huge in this game. Louis isn't just 35 eco ahead. He now has a way of leveraging that economy. I would be sending a lot more villagers over here, because if you can take this 8k gold away from Wham, his longevity in this game is limited, right? He's got the 4k gold over there, and I think that's it for him. Meanwhile, Louis still has the 4k at home he hasn't touched. He's got the 3k in front of his base. It's fair to say that with length now getting added to this game, Louis is in a much more comfortable position to try and win out. Yeah, the only reason you're not seeing Wham struggle at the moment, well, actually he is struggling just in a different way, is that his army isn't getting killed. But that's the goal of Louis. That's the whole playstyle we're looking at here, the BCS playstyle. Drain the map, force your opponent to always dance around this issue but never be able to contest you directly, and then 10, 15 minutes from now, you strike. Because you know when the resources are all gone, when you pick them dry, you can look at the numbers you have, roughly mathemate and guesstimate how much your opponent got, and then just drain them dry. And we are getting the trade. Okay, that is a lot of trade intent. Proxy racks is now from Louis. God, this guy is a pain in the ass. This is one of those games where, like, when Wham watches the replay, it's going to be frustrating because he'll probably feel like he was losing, but he doesn't realize just how bad it is, right? It's one of those classic you don't already know you're dead. Expensive hand cannon is being sniped out like this is exactly what you can't afford either. This is actually exactly what Louis wants, to split into small groups where the horsemen can just run around the back and snipe 1 or 2, 3 hand cannons here or there, right? And alongside, like, the weight of you arriving, they've probably killed 4, 5, 6 villagers each. Crab's also now hitting the farms. And this game, I mean, we're basically done here. Wham is busy running around like a headless chicken. For Louis, everything is looking finger-licking good. More racks is being added in behind this. More troops forced to just spread. I don't think, like, Wham doesn't even know about this gold yet, I don't think, which is a bigger problem. When he realizes it, it's going to be the real face palmer. If you guys were wondering how confident Louis is that this is a win, when I see someone queuing up elite knights in a game where gold is just exhausted quickly and Landsnecked simultaneously, it says literally everything that needs to be said about the state of the game. That tells you just how confident Louis is that he's never running out of gold. In a one-relic game. So how does Wham recover this now? A direct fight actually doesn't work for him anymore. I think Wham needs to get into some small groups of horsemen and hit the trade. He needs to breach the wall and shut trade down. That's his win condition now. It's still going to be difficult because your opponent still has 7,000 raw gold to work with. Then what, like another 600 here, and I think 3k here. So he's not going to run out immediately. But like, you basically need to slow this game down. Because right now, you're reacting. If you guys want to know why proactive is important, look at the last 10 minutes of gameplay from Wham. It's all been reactionary. He hasn't done anything to take action. He hasn't had a chance to. Oh my god, Landsneck's in here as well. The villagers. Okay, so Shiv's out may have been a mistake. Wow, I don't think he realizes because he thinks it's just villagers attacking villagers, but that one Landsneck is MVP. He hits for 28 damage a swing. And oh no. No. That's exactly what you can't have happening. GG. Wham has no gold anymore. You can already see the walls also coming in from Louis. Love that, by the way. The small wall in the corner, so he has a retreat point if he gets attacked. I don't think he's ever getting attacked. Wham, he tried to commit down the center, but the keep rush up from Louis stopped him in his tracks. Louis truly is the beastie QE of China. The question is, with this kid's prominent rise to power, how quickly before we're starting to say that Beastie is the Serbian LoueMT? Night Clash coming in. Landsneck in that mix-up. And that means this fight is going to get foul and ugly quickly for Wham. I think this is the point where he's starting to process just how badly he's been beat here. Last stand, really. He doesn't have any premium comp behind this to fall back on. You can see he already is just prepping mass archers. And Spear Arrows tells you everything you need to know about this game. What a crazy game. Louis now just 6 minutes away from a Sacred Site victory. Wham. The problem I'm now seeing is if you're switching into Archer Spearman, you're even less likely to raid, right? And you need to raid. Good God, you need to raid. It's 25 traders returning 73 gold each way. The gold income is through the roof right now. 4.3k gold. Oh my god. And the keep drop should be the GG moment, right? Louis now reaching even deeper. Wham! I'm not really sure what he thinks his recovery mechanism is in this game. The only thing I can kind of gauge here is that maybe he doesn't know about the trade. And he's assuming that this comp that's being built is unmaintainable. But when you see the next group of Knights and Lance next, I think you accept this for what it is. It's always that classic, you don't want to give up when you're 36 minutes in, might as well see it out. But it has been seen out. LoueMT, looking like one of the absolute GOATs of late game.